Hello you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another book video, as if you couldn't tell by the title. I feel like I am a little bit late to the game on this video, but that's fine because it's only September 12th and we can do a fall TBR not anytime, but we can do a fall TBR anytime during fall. Well, technically I don't think it's fall yet, but that doesn't really matter because it's September and I'm already in the fall mood. So in my previous TBR video, I stated, and I'm going to state again, that I don't really like having a set TBR. I like having options, right? And I know I don't have to stick to a TBR, but like if I'm not going to stick to it, then why am I going to do it? You know? So I'm just giving you guys my fall generalized TBR of all the books that I would like to get to in the fall time, which includes September, October, and November. That's what we're doing today. We are going over my fall TBR. So as you can see, I took all the books that I have off my shelf except for some of the ones down here because I'm doing a current video on those right now. And we're just gonna set it. I think I'm just gonna set like more priority books up there, or actually maybe ones I just want to read more. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's get into it. So not every book obviously that I have up here is going to be on my TBR, so I'm also trying to figure out which books. I probably should have figured this out before I started filming, when some of these books take place, because if they don't take place in the fall time, then it's kind of like I'm not going to read them during the fall, you know? Not that I can't read them during the fall. I truly can, but I just don't want to. If they're really not a fall book, they're getting pushed up against the side, so. Okay, so actually the first one we have up is The Housemaid. Now, I've been waiting to read this book until I literally had a full day of uninterruptedness, because I know that I'm gonna fly through this like everybody else says that they can't put it down. So if I know that everybody who reads it says they can't put it down, why am I gonna start reading it on a day where I know I would have to put it down? You know, makes sense to me. So this is definitely a top priority book, but we'll see when I get to it. The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I thought it was Dern. I don't know why I thought it was Laura Dern. That's an actress. Anyways, The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. This isn't necessarily a top priority, but I know this one's more of a mystery. I think that would be fun to read during the fall spooky months, but that one's gonna go down here because it's not as much of a priority, but it's still one I want to read during the fall time. And there's a lot of books, so I'm not gonna get to all of them. I know this. Okay, there's a lot. The next one is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, and I know that this book takes place during the fall time, I'm pretty sure. I think it takes place over a period of time. So this one is not like a priority one that I really want to read, but I do want to get to it. Next up is we have Better Than the Movies. This has been on my TBR for so long and everybody talks about how good it is. And I think part of me is just scared because I don't want to not love it as much as everybody else does. You know, like everybody talks about how great this book is and everybody is obsessed and they love it. And I just don't want to be disappointed when I read it. So I think I keep putting it off. But this is also going in my fall TBR. I know this probably takes place over a course of a period, but I think they're in high school and like they start like, this book starts out as back to school. I'm not really sure. I don't really know much about the book in general, but I figure back to school season, September, perfect time to read it, you know? Not priority, but still going on the TBR list. Next up we have The Guest List. This is one that I have been wanting to read for a really long time. As you can see how tiny this book is though. I think this is on Kindle Unlimited. If it's not, then it looks like I'll be reading this tiny book, because that's why I put it off for so long, is because it's so freaking tiny that I'm like, how do you hold this? It fits in my one hand, my palm of my hand. That's how tiny. For comparison, I don't know what happened. My mom gave this book to me. She said she ordered it online. She goes, this is how it showed up. And I was just like, okay, this will be written okay, I'm not even gonna put this up there because it's just too tiny and it just won't go with the vibes. Anyway, next up we have Bunny by Mona Awad. This is a book I got semi-recently, not like too recent, but I know this is like a dark academia book, so I feel like that would be great for fall as well. So I'm actually super excited to read that because I've never read dark academia before, so I'm excited. So we're gonna put that up there as priority. We have When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I absolutely loved and was obsessed with the cheat sheet, right? And this is obviously another book that was written by the same author, Sarah Adams. This one just gives me fall vibes. I don't even know know if this really takes place in anything fall, but it gives me fall vibes. Like the cover and the baking and the small town, like Gilmore Girls, like that's the vibes this one gives me. So it's not priority, but it's still one I want to read. Okay, this is another one I'm actually really excited for. Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. This one seems really, really interesting. I've actually had this book for a little bit now, and Destiny Sidwell just read it in one of her most recent videos, and she said it was really, really good. So I'm actually really, really excited to read this now. I am a big like thriller mystery girly though, so like mystery thrillers, like they're like easy for me to want to read. Like if I think that the back just even seems interesting, or if the title seems interesting, I'm probably gonna read it. Like there's just like no doubt about it. So I'm very excited to actually read this one because I haven't read a really good thriller in a long time. So I really hope that that happens. So the next two books actually are part of a series, and it's the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. These ones are more of like definitely top priority of what I want to read. I'm so excited to read these. Everybody talks about how great they are, and I just know I'm gonna really, really like it. First of all, like floppy ass book, like perf. Everyone just talks about how great the book is. So I'm really excited to read the series. And I know that the series is being turned into a TV show, I think, or a movie. I'm not really sure, but I would like to read them before they come out. So I only have the first two because I actually saw, I think Natalie Sawyer, I don't remember her last name. She read, I think, one of the books during one of her reading vlogs, and she said that she was told not to buy the third one because it ruins it. So I didn't buy the third one, and we'll see if I really like the series and go buy it, because everyone says that the first one is the best and then the second one's good, but then the third one ruined it. So I don't know. We'll see. Cannot wait to read those. Next up, we have The Prized Girl. This is a book I've actually had for a while. My cousin gave me this one, and I have actually never even heard of Amy K. Green, but just the premise, like the title of the book and the cover, first of all, look how creepy that looks. And then the back actually was what got me. It's a murdered pageant queen, an obsessed fan, but in a small town with buried secrets, the true killer may not be the obvious suspect. That sounds interesting. So I'm very excited to read this. This is not like top priority though, so I'm probably going to end up putting it on the bottom just because this is hardcover. Does it even fit? Oh, it does. So maybe I won't put it on the bottom. I'll put it like up here. It's not top priority because I think I want to get to those like in October, like when it's really spooky season, you know what I mean? Like I'll get way more spooky. Next up, we have Her One Mistake. This is by Heidi Perks. This is another author I haven't heard of before. Again, this is another book that my cousin gave me, but Lisa Jewell has a blurb on the front of the cover. So I was like, you know what? This is probably a good one to put on my TBR for the fall. So I'm also really excited to read this. And then also the other little thing that says, "What's a little lie between friends?" What? So that also excites me. What should have been a fun-filled, carefree day takes a tragic turn for the worse for one mother when her best friend's child goes missing. This suspenseful, compulsively readable, and darkly twisted psychological thriller. Wow. This book does have significant water damage though, so that's one of the things that's been like really making me not want to read it, because the book has water damage. But if I read it, then I'll know what's inside, obviously. So these next few ones are probably not going to be like top priority, just because again, they're more like thriller books. So I want to get to them more in October or like end of September when it's like really Halloween-y, you know? Next up, I have Final Girls by Riley Sager. This one I really don't know what it's about actually. I just have heard a lot about Riley Sager, and a lot of people enjoy his thrillers. So I figured, why not give this one a go? And then next up, we have one of my favorite all-time thriller authors is Lisa Jewell, The Night She Disappeared. I, again, do not know much about this book, but it was Lisa Jewell, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna get it because I love her. Okay, I will literally, she's an auto-buy author for me. She could put out anything and I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna read it. Even if I don't necessarily like it that much, I'll still be like, yeah, I need to read it. You know what I mean? So I'm super, super excited. I feel like though, this one, just based off the title, might be very similar to Then She Was Gone, which is the first book I ever read by Lisa Jewell. Ooh, okay, next up, The Silent Patient. This has been on my TBR for quite a while. This is another book that people keep talking about how much they love, and that they were like so addicted and it was so page turning that I have been scared to read it because I just don't want to be disappointed, which I really don't think I will be. Like, I feel like a thriller or even like a mystery suspense book is gonna have to be like really bad for me to be disappointed in it, because I mean, I'm oblivious in books. Like, there's some, well, I pick up on things quite easily, but sometimes in these things I'm like oblivious. Like, I always second guess what I'm doing. I mean, I guess if the author is making me second guess every little thing, then means they're probably doing a good job. But there's only been like maybe 1 or 2 thriller books that I didn't really like how they turned out. So again, like I said, this is a book I've heard that is very, very good and that I am very, very excited to read. Up next, we have another Riley Sager book, and this is The House Across a Lake. I know this is his most popular one, so I am, again, very, very excited to see this or read this one. This one's gonna be like heavily like page turning, you know? Like, this one's gonna really, really get me. You know, so I am also really excited for this one. I think I'm gonna make this one more on like the priority list, because I am actually really excited to read a Riley Sager book, and I feel like that would be the best one to read first, because I think that's his most popular and most well-liked one. Okay, let's gear off some of these thrillers and move on to some of the other ones that I have. I have a lot of thrillers. One I'm also very, very excited for is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. So this book takes place in Elfheim. So this book actually follows Oak, who was the, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if he was like the little brother. He was some type of like little brother in the Cruel Prince series, and this book follows Oak older. One of the, I can't remember what her name was, but one of the other young girl characters in the book, I think it follows both of them. So I'm actually really, really excited, because I absolutely love the Cruel Prince series. That's definitely one of my favorite series ever. It's a five-star series. I'm really, really, really excited for this, and I know that the second one is coming out very soon. So again, very excited. Right now I'm reading a lot of fantasy, and I'm in a super fantasy mood. So, all right, so next up we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, and this is one that I have not read yet, because I refuse to read it until the third book comes out, which I'm pretty sure comes out early 2024 or late 2023. So I'm waiting for the third book, because I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or if it's gonna be like a whole, like, probably like 4 or 5 book series. I'm gonna wait till the third one comes out and see if there's like talks of another one, because if there is, then I'm the type of person who loves for a whole series to be out before I like read them, because if I get addicted, I want to be able to read all of them at the same, well, not at the same time, but one right after the other. I wouldn't be able to do that if there was another book coming out. But I'll wait till like to see what the third one is and see if another book comes out after that. So we have The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Now this one was very, very interesting. This is like almost like a time loop. I can't remember what the thing is called. Basically, this one character keeps living the same day over and over again until they figure out who the murderer is, killing Evelyn Hardcastle. And I thought that concept was super, super interesting, and it seems like a fun read. So I'm really, really excited. What Happened to the Bennets by Lisa Scotline? I don't know. I've never read a book by her before, nor do I know what any of her other books are. This title and cover just seemed very, very interesting, so I decided to pick it up. I love the texture of the cover, first of all. Now that that's important. Yeah, I'm excited. Alrighty, just a few more left, I swear. And I know, I'm not getting to all of these, but like I said, I'd like to have options, okay? Next up, we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is another book that's been out for quite a while. People talk about it constantly. I actually have no idea what this is about. Like, I know V.E. Schwab writes a lot of, I don't know if they're like considered like fantasy, but more of like other world. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I know the other books that they've written are not like literary fiction novels. They're more, I guess, fantasy geared, I think. I'm not sure. I just know that they're not like normal books. So this one gives me fall vibes. I assume that there is magic. I'm just guessing. Heard a lot of great things about this book, and I am very, very excited to read it. Next up, we have Billy Summers by Stephen King. I have never read a Stephen King book before, and I am actually quite excited. A lot of people have talked about this one and say that it's really, really good. I know that this one's not like one of his horror books, so that's why I'm reading it. And I feel like this would be good like intro to him, because I've never wanted to read any of his books because I'm not into horror at all, like that does not appeal to me any bit of the slightest. But I know not all of his books are horror, and this is one of them, so I'm really, really excited for this one actually. This is the last thriller book that I have, okay? And that is The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Peckenham. Haven't heard of anything by these authors before. This one I actually did hear was good. I don't know where I saw somewhere on Instagram probably that someone read it and that they really, really liked it. And then my cousin gave this to me, so I just was like, yeah, it's a thriller, I'll read it. I'm excited though. It seems a little different enough. And I have just 2 fantasies left. The first one is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. This one I know deals with like magicians and stuff, so I know this one's more fantasy, but I've heard really good things about it, so I am actually really, really excited. This book is also really floppy, but the words, they're tiny. Not excited for that. Tiny words in this big old book. But I'm actually very, very excited to read this one because I've heard so many good things. And I didn't buy the second one because I haven't heard a lot about it and I don't know if people like it or not. And if I really like this, then, I mean, I'll probably end up going to buy the second one. But yeah, this is another one I'm actually really excited for. And lastly, this is actually a trilogy that I'm really excited to read because I've never written anything by Leigh Bardugo and everyone just like loves her stuff. Like, I feel like so many people don't even realize like all the books that she's written. And I know a lot of people like love this series and other series that are involved with this. So that is Shadow and Bone. I actually bought this a while ago. It was so cheap when I got it. It was like, I got it from Target. It was like 30% off for the whole set. And I was like, well, I might as well, you know what I mean? So yes, Shadow and Bone trilogy. I'm really, really excited for this as well. And it's also a TV show. So I also really want to watch the TV show, but I want to read the series first before I do that. That is all of them. That is my entire fall TBR. Like I said, I have a good, well, now it's more like 2.5 months because we're already halfway into September, but a good 2.5 months to get through a good chunk of these books. Now, I don't have as much time as I used to, but I am determined. I am determined to be able to do it. But like I said, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then stick around because some more book videos are coming for you. And I'm really, really excited about them. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social medias as well as subscribing to my channel. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.